Hello, everybody. Some old man. Today, I'm going to be working on the blinds here in the great room. Last fall, I replaced one of the old sets of blinds that was broken with a new set. Unfortunately, as you may be able to see, I don't know if the camera's pointed low enough, probably not. I mounted it a couple of inches too high so that the length of the blind when it was fully extended was just a little bit above the windowsill. So today I've got to go ahead and take it down and remount it 2 inches lower so it will be properly fit to the window. Then after I finish this first one, I've got the other side where the old blind was not broken but still needs to be replaced because it's the old 1 inch slats on the blinds. I want to replace it with the new 1 3/4 inch slats, which are a lot easier to look at and maintain. Also, I have some upper ones that I'm going to have to drag in the big ladder to do. I don't know if I'll get to those today or not, but I'll be replacing those here in a short while, one way or the other. The main window in the middle is going to require custom blinds. We're not doing those right now. I'm going to have to find somebody who will manufacture those to spec because you can either get them wide or tall, but not both. So we're going to go ahead and work around that. And meanwhile, I'm going to get this done and we'll be able to keep the windows covered for the winter, which is just getting rolling here today. As some old man. I'm putting this blind, the mount's about 3 inches below where I had it before because it looked like I had about a 2.5 or 3 inch gap underneath the blinds when they were all the way down. I don't want that anymore. I want them to close completely. As you can see, or maybe you can't, I've got the holes that I've drilled here before from this one I just mismounted, plus the holes from the previous set of blinds. I'm going to have to come back after the fact with wood putty and clean those up, fill them with wood putty, sand it down, repaint it, but that's something that can do anytime. Right now I'm just trying to get the blinds up so that I can, get these windows covered to kind of avoid some of the heat loss. Another chore that I need to do is get the foam board on the window that we use to prevent heat loss through the big window. But that'll get sometime, maybe this afternoon. These older, narrow 1-inch blinds tend to wear out after 8 or 10 years of pulling them up and putting them down. This one's still in pretty decent shape, but it's not like I'm going to reuse it anywhere else, so these will end up going in the trash, which is okay. It's just the way these things are. Hate to have a disposable society, but they don't make them easy reuse, so we'll just go ahead and remove those old holders, and I'll put new ones in at the same height that the ones on the other side are, so that everything will look kosher across the way. But right, that's it for right now. These are the new blinds, obviously. The trouble I went through to get these things, when I picked them up last fall, I went down with my measurements, had the lady at Lowe's Hardware or Lowe's Home Improvement say, here's my thing, I want this one, please cut them to the length. So she did. I got back and started installing the first one over in the other room, and it was 3 inches short. Can you believe it? So I took them back and exchanged them, got new ones cut. This time we double checked, triple checked, and they were correct. But it was a real problem to get them. Now, I am not one to really enjoy working sitting on the floor, mainly because it means I have to get back up. That's a part I don't need. These are generic sets, and they include parts for different uses. One of the uses is for longer blinds where they need a support in the middle, so it comes with a middle support. I don't need that because it is actually very relatively short. These are less than the full width of the things. I had to have them cut down a little bit. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, directions, which I won't need. I've done this so many times now. Pull out all these things, which is really the main thing I wanted to get out. Cardboard. I do, however, there's one. Where is the other one? Oh, here it is. These are the two pieces I need. I need them to actually mark the holes so that I can drill them in the correct place. I've already got the height mark off so that they'll be equal to the other ones, but I don't know how the spacing of the holes is without using one of them as a template. So I've been using these general type of blinds with the wide slats for 2 or 3 years now, since we started putting in the first one, and they have changed the model slightly since I originally did them. The first ones I put in, you had a drawstring to raise and lower the blinds. The new ones, they went ahead and put in a spring of some sort that all you have to do is lift on them and pull on them down, and it would automatically provide the tension or whatever to keep them at the same height. So it was kind of a nice thing, but they otherwise are the same. The way they install is the same. All these clips are the same. So I know exactly what each one of them is. Between the first set that I put in and the second set I put in last month, or 2 months ago now, before Santa Claus, I had forgotten exactly how all the pieces went together, but it's been recent enough now that I know exactly, and it won't take me any effort at all to get this thing up. The hardest part of this whole job is getting back up from the floor, because I'm just not as agile as I was, 20 or 30 years ago. And of course, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is something else I don't understand. Every single one of these packages has 7 screws. These things have 4 screw holes, which means that you're basically only able to put 3 screws in each one. Now I'm going to have to go to the hardware store this afternoon and buy a box of this type of screw, because when I was moving that one around, I stripped the heads out of a couple of them, and I stripped a head out of one of them when I first put it up. So they're too easy to destroy. It's one of those heads that has a star and a flat in it, and it doesn't do either one well. So unless you get the drill driver lined up just perfect, it tends to want to skip, and then it ends up stripping the thread. So I'm going to climb back up off the floor and reset the camera to point up at the wall again and get these things up, and we'll get this job done. Some old man. Easier than the last one did, that's for sure. I still want to go out and get additional screws and have a screw in each one of the 4 holes, but this one is going to be up for today. that's good. I don't know if you can see on camera out the window, but we have snow. Considering that it was 65 this morning when we first got up, that's pretty good, or bad, depending on how you want to look at it. But we do have a pretty reasonable front coming through. It's been raining all morning, and now it's getting cold. And tonight it will stop raining or snowing, and it will freeze. So the snow won't accumulate. Whoops. The snow will not accumulate, but it will freeze all the wet on the road. So I expect that tomorrow morning it'll be icy. It's a good thing that my commute involves going upstairs to my office. Because if it would involve driving, it would not be fun. Or maybe it would. Depends on your definition of fun, I guess. I can now go ahead and clean up my mess and put up the blinds and get all the fittings on it so it looks pretty. And we'll be done with this one. We'll close this window. And then I can go ahead and use the extra screw that I've got on the other one, and I'll be almost done. Get this job on the lower half done early. I'm not going to try tackling the upper window today, because that would have to involve bringing the ladder in, and I don't want to mess with that at the moment. Well, I'm thinking of this before I get too far up the ladder. Do these right now. These are end caps that go on the base. They can be put on pretty much any time. But I figure if I'm down here, they're easier to do rather than fight them while they're in the window frame. Okay. Okay, where is... Okay. You can always tell which way is out, because this is where the little control for changing the angle of the window shutters is. I want that out where I can get to it. I could put it on ahead of time, but it's just easier not to. Okay, here's that one, and that one. There's that. Like so. And I have two more little end pieces here that go on the ends of this thing to make it look pretty. I should have put them on ahead of time, but I didn't. Like so. And that's that. Two of my blinds are successfully installed. To get the additional screws that I needed, I opened up one of the packages for the blinds that go on the upper level and stole a pack of screws out of there. I'm going to have to go to the store to get screws anyway, and since I didn't really intend to do those ones up there today, I'll just borrow the screws and replace them when I do go ahead and put those in. But this is all there is to it. As you can see, they open and close as expected. You saw me raising and lowering them before, so we'll just go ahead and call it a win for today. We still have to clean this room up before I get the ladder out, so not a big rush. Probably next weekend or maybe even after that. It's not a big problem because the blinds that we have up there actually do work. We don't open and close them at all just because there's no reason to. They're just so high. So at the moment, we just go ahead and leave them closed. They keep the heat in a little bit. Instead, the only other thing I got to do is get this plastic or the foam board on the lower window. We'll do that after we're finished cleaning the room up too, because right now we're using the window shelf for storage. That's all there is for this one, so I'm going to go and wrap it up, and we'll see you next time. Some old man. See you later.